I'm here at Teeter Organic Farm and Retreat, and I always get that name wrong, Teeter Retreat and Organic Farm. And looking at the river, we've done a little bit of work around it. We've been trying to learn about it more. We've had a lot of erosion out here in the past few years, and a lot of that's due to this big grassy area behind me. The grass doesn't hold down the riverbank real well, and it doesn't slow down the water any. If you look down there, there's a fairly large tree. It's this one right here, and underneath that tree there's really nothing holding it up other than some roots. Most of the dirt has washed out. Some of this riverbank isn't the safest to stand on. It could wash out any minute. I'm at one of the more solid spots, so I'm not too concerned. This is not as high as it gets. We've seen this water from where I'm standing would be close to my chest level. I'm about 5'6". Just looking here at some of the grasses along the shoreline, you see how the water has slowed down around those grasses. They're really helping things. And right behind those grasses, it's not washing out quite as badly, but those kinds of grasses are very long-rooted. Most of the grass up here on top of the shore is not. You can see a log going down river there. Going at a pretty good clip. I'll hold still and it'll be out of my frame in just a second. You can see how this water really gets moving here. Well, across the river, over there, that beautiful area, that belongs to Strawtown-Katiwi Park. And the river goes north just above Strawtown Park and then comes down the side of it over that way in an almost straight line and then just blasts through this area. We'll walk over there and have a little bit better look at it. And I'll put this up on the YouTube so other church members and other people can see it. It's something that is going to have to be dealt with here fairly soon. There are a lot of ways to do it, but FEMA doesn't always allow the dumping of what's called riprap, which is old pieces of concrete, because it really just speeds up the river. And we don't want to speed up the river any more than we do. What helps the most is slowing down the river. And that, if you were to stir up a bowl of water real fast with your hand and then drop your fingers in it, it would slow the water down, right? Or stir it up with a spoon and then just hold that spoon still. It would slow that water down, right? Well, that's what needs to be done along the banks of a river. Putting in that hard concrete speeds up the water. Look here. See all this water coming down? This is all river. And you know what? This is normally about 4 feet above the water line. And this river is just blasting a new path right through here. Some of those areas have dipped down pretty hard in the last winter even. You can see some more water over there. They dropped this nice big log on us. We'll have to kind of figure that one out. I think that came from the campground about a mile upstream, but I'm not entirely sure. That river, when it gets going, it's powerful. It's just so powerful. You can see it just washing really hard at those trees. And they're slowing it down right there. There's actually more ground behind those trees than there is over here in this area. That area has gotten cut out pretty badly lately. And where you see the water over here, it's hard to see it from this angle, and I'm not going to go over there in the water. But there's a tree that's, the roots have completely washed out. Here, I'll try and zoom in on that. Pretty crazy, huh? Those are all roots that you're seeing right to the base of the tree. Now we planted a few little wildflowers, just stuff I took out of my garden, up along in this area, just to hopefully hold down a little bit more of the soil. Hopefully they'll take off in the next couple of years. If they don't get washed downstream, we only planted them about 2 weeks ago. That's the risk you take on this river, especially in May. You see how fast this thing's moving, and it'll rise up pretty darn quick. And it'll just cover this whole area. I've seen it actually up here. You can't hardly see it. There's a cross over there. I've seen it up to the base of that cross. And I think I'm going to be moving out of the way a little bit here. Just kind of letting this area fill in, because I really don't want to be too close to it. Rivers are dangerous things. They look all nice and peaceful most of the time, but when they get like this, they'll just take you away. And this isn't even the highest flood I've seen. I've seen it way higher than this a number of times, even this year. I'll give you another look down here. We put this caution tape in. Figured it'd keep people from trampling down any of the plants that we've got. Look here at the water filling in that fast. And it'll ooze out a little bit, and then some more will come down. So the river's still coming up, I believe. Now there's a stream that lets out over here, and part of that stream is fed by the river up above us. This one I think just got knocked down by the flood. But you can see here where the roots have been washed out, and this little valley right here. Water comes rushing through there. This is the pathway up to the steps. Rises up a little bit more. I've seen even this underwater. Up to about mid-calf at least on some of the solider floods. This water, this is that stream I was telling you about. It's about 4 or 5 feet deep there in the center. And usually the animals come down here along the banks to get water. I went down it on one of my other ones that I don't think I've posted. Right there by the scout sign. And if you listen close, underneath the birds, you can hear that water just plowing through that tree that's a little bit upstream. That tree's some of the reason that we haven't washed away completely yet. We'll go off-roading a little. And as I said, I'm not wanting to get too close. Now, I've been down here a few times, and I know the banks right here are safe. That doesn't mean I want to be here when the water comes. Man. Right over here, just past this big tree, we planted some plants. You can kind of see one of them. Let me zoom in on it right here. You see that little scrubby thing right there? That little plant's about 4 feet high. It's only about a foot of it sticking out right now. and it was up above the water line a couple of feet. That's a bayberry. It's a native. We only planted natives. There's no way I want to be involved in introducing invasives down here. That just gives you a bad name forever, you know? So, just a few little things that we picked up out of my garden that were kind of overwhelming my garden and brought on down here. They tend to be fairly water tolerant. Hopefully they got established enough that they won't be all washing away. But you can see how the water loves it, or the grass loves this water, but the roots on it aren't deep enough to hold it in, and it just washes away with this kind of water pressure. It's like a pressure washer in some areas coming down there. Yeah. That's my little tour of the river today. Be safe, practice good water safety, and bye for now.